Good morning, Midway Kids, and welcome to a special edition of Midway Kidz TV Snowed In Edition. Good morning, you guys. I'm your host, Carson Hall. Although we're not going to be able to meet today in person, I wanted to come to you with a special edition of Midway Kids from my front porch. Oh man, that's cold. I'm not sure, but it might be 37 degrees under below this morning out here. But I wanted to do this right and host Midway Kidz TV outside. Here we go. I'm gonna do a little experiment. Got my wife's coffee cup out here. Don't tell her. See if that bad boy freezes while we do this video. Oh, it's cold. Yeah, you guys are worth it. There's a breeze. And that breeze is from the Lord, and it is good, but it is cold. I wanted to encourage you guys as families to jump into God's Word still and enjoy some family worship time into the book of Ruth. To be honest with you guys, I can't really feel my fingers. I'm not kidding. This month, we're in a series on kindness in Midway Kids, and Ruth does have to do with kindness, but we're going to put the focus on God, especially as we look at His faithfulness and His loving kindness in the book of Ruth. Oh, where'd my papers go? Blew into the dark alleyway. That's nice. And when we read God's Word, we want to pay attention to who God is, what He's done, and what that means for our lives as He reveals it in this story. If you have older kids and you can, I would encourage you to read through the whole book of Ruth. It takes about 15 minutes and it's well worth it. It's an awesome book. If you have a younger crowd and you need to hit the highlights, here are a few key passages to make sure you read. Ruth chapter 1, 6 through 7. Chapter 1, 15 through 7, Chapter 2, 8 through 12, 2, 19 through 20, Chapter 4, verses 13 through 17. In all of this, you're going to see Ruth show great kindness to her mother-in-law, Naomi, when they lose everything and they have to move. She takes care of her mother-in-law and loves on her greatly when she did not have to. And ultimately, I want you to think about God's faithfulness, His loving kindness throughout the whole story in providing for Naomi and Ruth through a guy named Boaz in circumstances that could not have been just coincidence, but God's provision and His loving kindness. I'm going to teach you one word. Anytime we say a word in Hebrew, it's always good to whisper it because it just sounds like you should whisper it. This one is called Hesed. Hesed. Hesed means God's loving kindness, His faithfulness as the Redeemer. And last but not least, as you finish up the story today, something to keep in mind is that Naomi and Boaz end up having a baby, and that baby's name is Obed, and Obed has a baby, and they have Jesse, and then eventually they have King David, who's a big guy in the Old Testament, and then years and years and years and years and years later, Jesus, our Messiah, our God in the flesh, comes through this family line. So it's pretty special. All right, so as we finish up today, why does this matter in our own lives? Because we have the opportunity to show people the kindness of Christ in our own lives. And that kindness has the power to transform lives today while we live, as well as for eternity and where we spend eternity. Pray for me that I didn't get frostbite. I love you. I'm gonna head back in and thaw out. Let's see if my science experiment worked and if this guy's frozen. Let's see here. Oh, not frozen yet. Guess it takes a little longer. It's okay. Hey gang, I felt I should add that the stunt you saw out there today is not to be repeated and or tried at home by yourselves without parental guidance or permission. I am a professional stuntman trained at midwaychurch.org.kidstv/events.com. So that's why I was able to do it, but I want you guys to make sure that you don't go out there unless your parents say it's okay. You probably shouldn't even then because it is super cold. Love you guys. Woohoo! Hey gang. Oh man, my finger's about to fall off because it's so cold. That is cold. That is really cold.